Olive Garden may not be the most authentic Italian restaurant out there, but we love it nonetheless. On the surface, Olive Garden may seem pretty straightforward, but they have an interesting past. It's time to discover these interesting facts you never knew about Olive Garden. Breakfast connection. You may not think of breakfast when you think of Olive Garden, but there's an interesting connection there. Specifically, the connection between Olive Garden and breakfast cereal giant General Mills. But this isn't about Lucky Charms and Cheerios. General Mills is also responsible for the creation of Olive Garden. Back in 1970, General Mills entered into the restaurant industry when they bought Red Lobster. As Red Lobster became a success, General Mills decided to expand upon their restaurant endeavors and open up Olive Garden. Although Olive Garden became a thriving business, General Mills eventually decided to get out of the restaurant industry. In 1995, Olive Garden and the other restaurants owned by General Mills were spun off into a new independent company owned by stockholders called Darden Restaurants, Inc. Big goals. Some restaurants start out as small, independently run businesses that naturally turn into chain restaurants over time. That wasn't the case for Olive Garden. When General Mills started the restaurant, it was with the intentions of turning it into a chain. The first Olive Garden opened its doors in 1982 in Orlando, Florida, and by 1989, Olive Garden had already opened up 145 locations. With over 100 location openings in less than 10 years, Olive Garden's business was thriving, turning it into a popular dining staple among Americans. Whether it's the comforting all-you-can-eat salad and breadsticks or the familiarity of the dining experience, business is apparently still thriving for Olive Garden, with over 800 locations throughout North America. Skipping the salt. The first rule most people are taught when cooking pasta is that you have to salt the water. By adding a pinch of salt, the pasta is able to soak it up during the cooking process, which enhances the overall flavor. This is a fundamental step that is looked down upon when skipped, and Olive Garden found that out the hard way. They faced some serious backlash when shareholder Starboard Value called them out on skipping the crucial ingredient, which was one of many complaints during a 300-slide presentation. So what was Olive Garden's reasoning for not salting? The pots. Apparently, the company claimed that adding salt would ruin the warranty on their pots. Putting that to the test, Huffington Post conducted their own experiment to see if this was true. According to their experiment, if you add salt to the water when it's boiling, it can't react to the oxygen in the water, thus saving the pot. Sounds like Olive Garden could use a little cooking advice here or there. All those breadsticks. With unlimited breadsticks as an option, do you ever wonder just how many breadsticks Olive Garden serves in a year? In 2014, they served about 675 million. That may sound like an astounding amount of bread, but that equals out to about 3 breadsticks per customer per visit.
I love bread.
While the customers may absolutely love them, not everyone in the company is happy about the number of breadsticks being served. Starboard Value, the same investor that was unhappy about the lack of salt in the pasta water, felt that serving a whopping 675 million free breadsticks is too much. They were also not pleased with the quality of the breadsticks themselves, stating that after 7 minutes, the breadsticks went stale, which resulted in massive quantities of food waste. While they recommended serving 1 breadstick per customer, the unlimited breadsticks are still being offered, for now. Soffa what? Were you a fan of Olive Garden's pastichetti? What about their soffatelli? While these may sound like delicious, authentic Italian dishes, Olive Garden made them up. While the chefs responsible for these creations may or may not have taken inspiration from Italy, you won't find these dishes anywhere but Olive Garden. Unfortunately for Olive Garden, customers weren't fans of the unfamiliar dishes featuring gourmet-sounding ingredients. In fact, the lack of consumer interest in the menu items was partly to blame for 2 quarters of disappointing sales. Due to the failure of these menu items, Olive Garden decided to get back to the basics with traditional Italian dishes and promote actual Italian food with familiar names their customers would recognize. Don't mess with a good thing. Their Culinary Institute. The Olive Garden Culinary Institute of Tuscany does in fact exist in Italy, but it's not what its name makes it out to be. What they suggest as a type of cooking academy where Olive Garden chefs are trained is more along the lines of a retreat for managers. An anonymous Reddit poster who claimed she attended the institute as an employee explained that it is nothing more than a hotel that Olive Garden reserves for managers and chefs during the off-season. While Olive Garden employees do have access to the hotel's kitchen if they choose to utilize it, there is no school there. Most employees spend the entire time sightseeing rather than training. The Redditor wrote, "The only time we saw the chef was when she made a bolognese sauce while taking pictures with each of us to send to our local newspapers." Millennials love it. Millennials may take the blame for killing the chain restaurant industry, but one chain restaurant they aren't killing is Olive Garden. Along with avocado toast and rosé wine, millennials apparently really love Olive Garden. According to Food and Wine, Olive Garden sales have soared while other restaurant chains are taking a big hit. and part of that is due to their faithful millennial clientele. About 30% of their patrons are millennials. So while competing chain restaurants like Applebee's, Buffalo Wild Wings, and TGI Fridays are seeing sales plummet, Olive Garden's business continues to thrive.
Olive Garden, really? I've never been to the Olive Garden.
Oh, man.
So what is it about Olive Garden that attracts millennials? Perhaps it's the beloved chicken Alfredo or the unlimited salad and breadsticks. Whatever it is, millennials love it. And that is good news for Olive Garden.